today we have with us the Vice President of the Jewish community of Athens. And I did ask Monis how to pronounce his name earlier on, and I'm just not going to be able to do it. So Monis, please introduce yourself.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to address to this wonderful audience. My name is Monis Halegoua, and I'm the Vice President of the Jewish community of Athens. And also, as I said before, to Ed and Zoe, I'm the General Manager of the Jewish Elderly Home in Athens. At the beginning, I would like to thank all the Jewish organizations for everything they are doing for our community and the Jewry worldwide. With their kindness and generosity, they touch meaningfully and practically the lives of the less fortunate Jewish people they don't even know, giving them the not only practical help, but also hope and strength to continue. Thanks to organizations like JDC, ECJC, Claims Conference, and so many others, we are much more alert and better prepared as a community, reacting instantly to our members' needs, even while working from our homes. We send medicine and groceries with the aid of our volunteers, of our youth, and delivered Passover and Rosh Hashanah goods to their houses. And we even provided some tablets to our senior members so they don't feel isolated and they are able to participate in our online events and services. Now that the coronavirus health crisis is on the increase in Greece and in many other countries around the globe, the financial crisis seems to be taking over once again. We're going through a tough period with the hope that we also soon overcome this challenge without any further losses. Given the new circumstances, it has been our responsibility as a community to take fast and effective actions in order to protect and support our members of all ages. Our board, or our professionals, our school, our rabbi, our security staff, and of course, our volunteers keep working in this direction. We have faced the COVID-19 threat from the very, very beginning with responsibility, seriousness, discipline. In early March, following the government decree of measures to prevent the spread of COVID-19, we have suspended all activities that would potentially bring together vulnerable groups such as the synagogue and community center gatherings, visits to the cemeteries, visits of tourist groups and schools, etc. At the same time, information was provided from our side, including guidelines, useful telephone numbers, and our 24/7 helpline, which has active so that all our members could reach us for any need or concern. During the first lockdown, and since our synagogue was not operating as usual, our Rabbi, Gabriel Negrin, kept all the community together by organizing visual Sabbats and Avdalah so that we could celebrate the arriving and the end of Shabbat all together. It wasn't easy. We also organized the virtual celebration of Pesach, Lag BaOmer, Jerusalem Day, and of course, Rosh Hashanah, Kippur, and Sukkot. Our members really enjoyed all these successful initiatives, which gave reason to all of us to remain united and faithful, not only by hearing the prayers, but also by finding emotional support to deal with this challenging period by listening to the wise words from our Rabbi. Furthermore, our community participated in the online commemoration and celebration events of various Jewish organizations and during the national days of Yom HaShoah, Yom HaZikaron, Yom HaTzmaut, most of which were organized in collaboration with the Embassy of Israel in Greece. In addition, our JCC director, together with the JCC volunteers, organized an online music event in which community member musicians were invited to participate. Since all community events were canceled, new events had to be created through Zoom and Facebook, with the contribution of Claims Conference, a small grant was approved that allowed us to purchase 21 tablets and donate them to our older members who could not attend on our online activities otherwise. We received many letters of our appreciation, and in turn, we thank Claims Conference for always standing by them. Our youth, in cooperation with the Welfare Committee, expressed their wish to offer their help to our members, and that's how the project Can I Help was born. This project includes visits or communication via telephone to offer psychological support on a regular basis. The first visits included the delivery of paramedic materials, masks, gloves, etc., to the vulnerable members so as to keep them protected. Finally, while due to the restriction, the annual camp was also canceled, we had to organize something new. So we organized for our children and youth a daily summer camp for 10 days full of fun. Also during the summer, we tried to keep our members close to the community and busy, if we can say so. We organized different interesting projects, such as the project of Make a Wish, in order to gather wishes that we could possibly make true, or the Billion Graves project, a mobile application and database with a map of the Jewish cemetery in Athens. Finally, we formed an online catalog of professionals of our community, and we also started a new project based on our family's heritage, a very interesting application which deals with everyone's family tree. To summarize, the main goal of our community is to always be active and assist our members in any possible way through our activities, programs, and services. Although at times we face challenges such as the desecration of our Jewish cemetery, we also celebrate good news, such as the verdict of the Greek court condemning the far-right party Golden Dawn as a criminal organization. We hope that by the time of our next meeting comes, we will all have returned to our pro-pandemic reality, strong and healthy. We sincerely hope that your families, your communities, and yourselves will soon be able to celebrate life as we knew it. Take care, stay safe and healthy. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Monis. Thank you. Tell me a little bit about the Greek community, because I think people in the room here maybe assume that there is, quite a number of Jews in Athens, and will probably have visited Thessaloniki, but don't really have a picture of Greek Jewish life across the country. And it does all the care and all the people that you've been able to bring together, have they mainly been in Athens, or what is the situation?
Yeah, the truth is that we are a very small community according to the European measures. We are about 3,200 people in Athens, Jews in Athens, and less than 5,000 Jews in all Greece. And we are talking about a community that before the war, it has many Jews, and it was very vital and very active community. We are trying to do our best, as I told you, to keep this community alive, and it's not easy. We have three main issues that we have to deal with. And the first one is the mixed marriages. We do have plenty of them. The second is the financial crisis that our youth is going away in all Europe to face the crisis, the financial crisis we're facing in Greece. And the third one is that we are an old community. That means we have more deaths than births. So we are getting spring. And we are trying to keep this community alive because it's a very old community. Trying to attract people to stay with us in any way you can imagine.
And is that mainly because of the ups and downs of the Greek economy itself, or is it problems in keeping the Jewish community together?
Yes, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a very small community. We know each other, and this has the good part and the bad part. That means we know it's one's problems that they're facing, and we're going straight to help them solve their problems. But it's also in a small community, is very complicated for youth to get involved to each other, because they know each other from the very young years. So it's not easy to have Jewish couples, as we can say.
So is it mainly an Orthodox community, or is the mixed marriages changing that?
Well, you know, in the issue of mixed marriages, we have different kinds of facing the Jewish community. We have mixed couples that the couple is coming close to us. It doesn't matter if who is the non-Jew, but they decided to come to our side, let's say. There are couples that they decided to go to the other way. I mean, the couple decided to get away from the Jewish community, or the Jewish life. And there is a third part of these couples that they don't really care. They are staying the same in the same position they used to be. One is from the one side, the other was from the other side. The problem come where the kids are coming and they don't know which way to go. And that's very important.
Yes, and many of our small communities around the UK have some of those challenges as well. And there are lots of different pragmatic paths forward. And every location, I think, has its own way of dealing with the situation.
That's true.
So you're in Athens, and of the 3,200 people in Athens, are they all engaged in the community, or what proportion is engaged?
When we say that we have 3,200 people in our community, that means they're registered in our community. The thing is that not all of them are involved in the life of our community. There are at least about 300 to 350 volunteers that they are really involved. They fight to keep this community alive. We have a board of 16 people that we are elected, and we have a general assembly of 50 people, and we have 12 committees for each part of our community life. Committee for the school, for the cemeteries, Hevra Kadisha, and for finance, for let's say for kosher, for the synagogues, etc. All of them are about 300 people, let's say. Then there is another 500 people that they like to be involved. They are following us, let's say. And I would like to say that half of our community is quite close to our community. Half of them they don't really care.
So has the events of coronavirus, has the fact that now we are living this virtual Jewish life, has that had some positive effects, or has it been problematic in keeping people engaged?
Well, we all understand that it's not an easy situation. As I told you before, we had to teach people. We have to let them, to help them to get involved in events via Zoom or live Facebook, etc. And it's not easy because, as I told you before, almost 1/3 of our community is over 60, 65, and things are not so easy. We're trying to do our best, and in Zoom events we had before, it was a very nice one at the very beginning on March with doctors of our community, and the second one of psychologists of our community. And we gather about 250 people that they could, they could follow the Zoom and ask questions. The thing is that people would, here in Greece, we had a period during the summer that things were not so bad. So we went to the sea, we went to the coffee places, we came to synagogue, and but now in the second wave seems to be much harder than the one before. And it's not easy. It's not easy. We're trying to reach each and every member of our community, to get them close to us and to let them know that here we are. Please let us know if you need something. And I think we succeed on this. I mean, people came to us and they asked for things, and I think we did well as a community.
So you mentioned the JDC, and we had as a guest Marigo Iskovits a few months ago, actually, who came in and told us about the work of the JDC. And the JDC is involved in this country, especially with the community in Leeds. And so how much of a role does the JDC and other organizations, UGIA or whoever, how important are they in keeping the Greek community going?
Yeah, they have a very tremendous part of keeping the community going, and then trying to help us in any way. The truth is, I wouldn't like to get into figures, but the thing is that whenever we need something, not money, not cash money, but we need to get into a project that will help our community to go on. They're at our side, by our side. And not only JDC, also Claims Conference, they're very close to us. And every time we ask for help, they're next to this. I mean, they're next to us, and we really thank them. I don't know if we can make it without them.
So people may have heard of the Claims Conference, but might know it in a slightly different context. Can you just explain how what the Claims Conference is, and how it has its relationship with Greece? Because in this country, it would be a different relationship.
Yeah, Claims Conference is a world organization that helps people that they suffer during the war. And we all know that in Greece, there were not even one Jew that didn't suffer during the war, during the German occupation. So they came here and they got all the papers they would like to have to understand what was going on here, and they're trying to give money to people. I mean, straight from the organization to the people, straight to the need people, the people who suffered during the war. And it's a program that comes at least 10 or 15 years ago, but now they help us more whenever we need. Even for the COVID period, they cover some expenses, special expenses for gloves and masks for individuals most of the time. Claims Conference helps individuals and not communities. But whenever we need something, as the tablets I told you, they were there, and they decided to help us and give some tablets to the elderly so they can follow our activities, our internet activities.
Yes, so if I can summarize, the Claims Conference organizes the reparations from countries who took responsibility for the Holocaust, and Greece was very impacted, of course.
Exactly.
Was devastated by the act of the Nazis on the Holocaust, and so therefore they approach the country, although it sounds like it's the support is to individuals rather than to the community. Does the Claims Conference give money to the community in general, or only to individuals?
No, most of the time individuals, not in the community, and all this money comes from Germany most of the time.
So just going back to the community in Greece over the whole country, tell us where the areas are where the Jewish community is, I mean, a few years ago, I was on business in Greece and visited Larissa and discovered there was a community there. So what other communities are there and how big are they?
True. As you might know, we had a Jewish community in every single town and city before the war. Now there are only 7 viral communities that they do have a board and they are organized. First of all is Athens, then is Salonika that has almost 1,000 Jews. And there they have Larissa, as you already said, Volos, and 2 of them, Yanina, and Yanina is a unique place in the world because we have a Jew major. The president of the Jewish community of Yanina was elected as a major of the city. It was a very very big thing. And we also have 2 communities in islands. We have in Corfu, we have in Rhodes, and another small community in the middle of Athens, or in middle of Greece, that is Chalkis. All of the communities are under an umbrella of the Central Jewish Board of Greece that we call KIS.
And have all these communities, have they been able to cope during coronavirus, or have you all come together perhaps as one Greek community? Or
most of the time,
the individuals still?
Yeah, most of the times our welfare community, that is a committee, welfare committee that is in touch with claims conference, are dealing for other Jewish communities members, for the small communities that they do not have this they are not so organized as the community of Athens. So we keep helping each and every community of our small country. And we're doing well. I mean, nobody stays away. Nobody suffers for this strange situation we're in now.
So let me open up to the rest of the room to see whether anybody's got any questions. I can see there's been a few comments in the chat, and Joe's got his hand up. So yeah, let me go to Joe, who's in South London.
Thank you, Ed. Monis, enjoyed your talk very much. Can you just tell me how many synagogues are active in Athens, and what, as Ed has asked, what sort of level are they? Orthodox, Reform, or Liberal, whatever? Do you have any kosher shops that the Jewish people can buy from in Athens? And is there any Chabad in Athens who like to convert everybody that they see in the streets?
Thank you, Joe. We do have 2 synagogues. As a matter of fact, one is active. The other one, we use it only during Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, that most of the people are coming to the synagogues. We do have service on Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays evening, Saturday morning and evening, and every Rosh Chodesh. We can say that we are an Orthodox community, but I'm not so sure that the word is characterize our community. We are dealing with the services as an Orthodox community. About the kosher, we do have some problems, though problems that they're not dealing with many people. That means not many are following kosher food. Most of them are following kosher style food. That means they don't use pork or stuff like this, and they don't eat seafood, and they do not mix milk with meat. But this is a kosher style, not a really kosher.
Greek kosher.
Greek kosher, exactly. That's how we call it. Though it's not so easy to keep Greek kosher in Greece, because tapodi, calamari, and shrimps are at the top of our scale of food scale. Anyway, the thing is that we don't deal that much with the kosher food. That's true. And during the Yamim Noraim and Pesach, we bring kosher meat from outboard. We we use frozen meat. As the Chabad, of course, we have Chabad here, and they are quite involved in our. They are not quite involved in our community religious life. They have their own place. They have their own synagogue. They have their own club. They do have a small kosher place. But they're dealing more with the tourists and not with the members of our Greek community, of our Athens community. And we used to have many tourists before COVID. Now things are really bad even for them. Though the gates are open with Israel and we are full of Israelis nowadays, but it's not something that it you know, they know how to bring people next to them more easily than our community.
Thank you very much.
But they are not involved much in the religious life of our community.
So do the Israelis get involved in the Jewish community?
That's true. We have plenty during the normal period. We have plenty of Israelis. We're very close to Israel, and they have plenty of flights. Even now, they have 8 flights per day, Tel Aviv, Athens. And Israelis they love very much the Greek music and the Greek lifestyle, and they're coming even for 3 or 4 days. It's an issue that we would like to, we're dealing with as a community, because we have a great history that someone would like to hear and listen and look and take a tour in our synagogue, etc. But it's not very easy. Although also the Israelis that they are coming in Greece, they are not so religious, so they don't really care about coming to the synagogue or something.
Yes, yes. I mean, in this country, I think we have a population of about 50,000 Israelis, and they're not really engaged in the Jewish community in this country, except when it comes to a bar mitzvah or something like that. Yeah. Then they want the bar mitzvah. So if there are any more questions, just put up your hands. Whilst you're thinking of around that, I'll just ask a few more. The organization of the Jewish community, I assume that takes place centrally, and it organizes both the welfare and the religious side. So both, the homes, and you're involved in running one of the care homes, and also the synagogues as well. So it covers everything, does it?
Yeah, almost everything. The things we're dealing every day. We're dealing with new problems in synagogues. Now we have a permission to get only 20 people in each service, not even one more than this. And the law is it's a law now. It's a law that it's still on till the end of COVID-19 period. And it's not easy. People are getting away from the synagogue. And we're trying via Zoom and via live presentations of our rabbi, that he's the youngest rabbi in Europe. He's only 31 years old. And he's doing his best to keep people close to the religious, but this is not easy, as you understand.
I mean, in this country, people will have experienced a lot of the synagogues, especially the Orthodox synagogues, who obviously can't broadcast, can't do Zoom on Shabbat,
exactly,
the holy days, that they found innovative ways of bringing Yiddishkeit into the period before we have to switch off our computers. So there are a lot of Kabbalat Shabbat services, and people have got a lot of spirituality, and they've been reaching out across the world as well, not just to their own communities, not just to the UK. So I'm sure that they would be very happy to have people from Greece tuning in to those services as well. And we're trying to bring together on the Jewish Small Communities Network all the events which are going on. So I think we're going to start listing some of those. There's 2 or 3 which are now quite well known, and we do mention them on our Facebook quite a bit. In terms of the finances of the community, is it self-sufficient, or is the majority of the funding coming from the people who are members of the community, the subscribers to the community?
The truth is that the community was running its life with donations from the members and some donations that are coming from abroad. But nowadays, things are very difficult. We don't have many donations. We have some property, and the rentals get 40% down during the COVID period. So we're facing really, problems, financial problems that we didn't face before. And we do have some help from other organizations that help us to go on with dignity. I mean, we do get some help, and I don't know what we would do without it.
So what do you see as the future, say, over the next 5 or 10 years for the Greek community?
Yeah, that's a very nice question, and a question that leads us to the board that we're dealing with it almost in every meeting to see what will go on. The thing is, according to my opinion, we have to keep our children close to the community, because the future of our community is our children. And it's very important to let them understand what is the meaning of keeping a Jewish community alive. And let them understand, try to give them the ideas to stay close and help them to do so. That means to find jobs for the youth so they don't have to live away, to leave Greece for other countries, and try to help youth with new enterprises, new jobs, and the only thing that we're facing, and it's very hard to deal with, is the marriage, the couples. We have to get in touch with our communities around Europe and have some events that nowadays it's very difficult, but to meet young people, each other. And as I told you, we're a small community, and the youth know each other from long time, and it's not so easy to get involved in another way. They're good friends. They're good friends. So it's quite troubling us to face the continuousness of our community, and it's easy to talk about 5 years or 10 years from now. It's very hard to talk about 50 years from now. I don't know what will happen.
Yes, it's quite a conundrum, and I think those questions happen in our small communities here. Although I have to say that they are generally stable, although there's a certain amount of decline, but some increase as well. Ruth in Birmingham, yes, let me ask you to ask your question.
I wanted to know, first of all, thank you for a fascinating talk. Really interesting. I wanted to know, is the community mainly Sephardi or Ashkenazi, or a combination of both?
Yes, it's a Sephardic community. And I would like you all to know that there is another kind of Jews that you might not know, is the Romagnots. Romagnots it's a group of Jews that they exist in Greece before Christ. I mean, 1,000 years before. And there are a few families still that they are coming from this kind of Jewishness. No, most of us, all of us, are Sephardics, and some of us are Romagnots. They are coming from North Greece, from Yanina most of the time. And if you write Romagnots in Wikipedia, you will find a lot of interesting issues there that people don't know, that they were Sephardic, they were Ashkenazi, but there are also Romagnots.
Okay, thank you.
Well, a few weeks ago, we had Ruth, who is the leader of the Jewish community in Rome, and she was telling us about the Italian Jewish community, which is similar to the Romaniots, and it dates back to that kind of period. Mm-hmm. So, but I must admit I didn't know that, although I did read it just before we met. Do we have any more questions? We have a comment from Sally in Oxford, who says that the Oxford Jewish community would be very happy to partner Athens in helping youth get together. So if I can give Sally your email, or vice versa, I'll do that if that's okay.
Thank you very much. It's a very nice idea. Thank you, really. Any kind of these ideas and touches and get in touch with other communities are very interesting issues that we would like to deal with a great pleasure.
Well, certainly, we'd be very happy to facilitate a meeting between any Greek community members and anybody in this country, Oxford, or anybody else around the table here. So just let me know about that. Any more questions about the Greek community? I know that fascinates me.
Come and visit.
Certainly, when we're allowed to.
When we are allowed to. Where we are allowed to.
I have to say that I'm currently on a staycation. I live in Manchester, and I've come into Manchester. I'm in the very nice hotel in Manchester on a holiday in Manchester. That's as far as we could go at the moment. Michelle in Liverpool, yes.
Sorry I joined you late, but I was on another meeting. But I've had the most incredible experiences amongst the Jewish community in Greece. Visiting the shul in Athens, but when you come off the cruise ship in Rhodes and you see the sign to the Jewish museum, that shul, that visit, the survivor, the Holocaust survivor who leads the talk, it's fascinating, it's fantastic. One of the most memorable experiences in my life, the museum in Rhodes and the Holocaust story. And I know there's only 30 members of that community, and it was the father and the son who did it, and it was very special. Very special.
Good to hear that, Michelle. Good to hear that. Thank you.
And another question from Sally as well. Is the Athens community doing anything in relation to the other crisis that's going on in the Mediterranean, the refugee crisis? How is that affecting you?
As a matter of fact, we are dealing with many crises: the financial crisis, the COVID-1 crisis, the immigrants crisis, the Turkish crisis. I'm sure you heard about things that are doing between Greece and Turkey and Erdogan and stuff like this.
The wall.
Yeah. I don't know. Something is going on wrong here, but we will deal with it. We will deal with it. Greek and Greek Jew is a very hard mixture, so we will deal with it. The thing is that we do know that we have a great problems with the immigrants. Normally the government is dealing with it, but from time to time we do some events and help immigrants that they are coming in different locations in Greece, like sending clothes or sending some food, or sending some clothes. It's not easy for a small community, but still we would like to keep our name up to tell everybody that we don't care only about Jews. We care about everyone who is needy, and we're doing things also for this side. Not much, but we're still concerning having events and some help to immigrants too. We have a lady, a psychologist, that she's dealing with immigrants as a job, and we are quite involved and quite in touch with them.
Well, that's interesting, and the community. And obviously, at one point there was a huge immigration from Spain into Greece, and Salonika became a great center of learning.
True.
So we have a huge history as being immigrants ourselves, and I guess that's why everybody is interested in in what we're doing to help refugees and similar. Again, yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, or not interrupt, to butt in with something else, but it just occurs to me that I think your community, Monis, and the rest of us have got a lot in common, because I think that we all have the feeling that we want to make sure that the wider non-Jewish community knows that Jews care about other people apart from themselves, and want to play their part in trying to help in these much bigger pictures. I think we're all suffering from the same problems that you are, which is certainly intermarriage is a problem in the UK for Jewish people, and in our own communities, well, certainly in mine, which is probably one of the biggest communities of the people represented here, youth not staying in our own community but going somewhere else means that we're losing that sense of what's going to happen in the future. So I think it's been myself, I think I've really appreciated to hear what you had to say. And I don't know whether we could, I suppose it's done under the European Jewish communities of meeting up with other European communities, but certainly I found it fascinating, and it makes me feel less isolated to hear that what's going on internationally is very much the same as what's going on in England, and certainly for my community. Do you have a Jewish school in Athens?
Yes, we do have a Jewish school, only elementary school.
Right.
And we have about 100 people there. And we do have also a deal with a nice college that all our people or our members that they're finishing the school, they can go there with Milga, with some financial helps from Loader. We call it Loader Jewish School, and it's quite active. Yes.
Right.
So I assume because it's the Lauder Jewish School that the Lauder Foundation is largely behind it.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does the Greek community get involved in the Jewish European organizations like the ECJC, and are you going to? There's a summit of European Jewish leaders
in November. Yes, we will be there. Yeah, we will be there. There are members of our community that they are involved in all these organizations. Also, Mr. Albalas was a president of the CJC 2 years ago, and Minos Moisis is a very active member of this organization, and Eddie Moisis, and we have quite a big number of members that they are members of these organizations, and we as a community are member of these organizations.
And I have to say that Athens was the first host of the conference of small Jewish communities about 4 or 5 years ago, wasn't it?
That's true. Minos Moisis, it was an idea of Minos Moisis, our president, our president of our community then. And he had the idea that the small communities have much more in common than big communities. We had some meetings, and of course the JSCN is also a network that is very interesting for small communities as Greek community.
Yes, well, we're involved with many of with the JDC and the ECJC, and I'm fortunate to go to the Small Communities Conference in Florence. Was it last year? Time flies by. I think it was 2019, and yes, and I was very pleased to meet Mickey at the Leotid session in Berlin about 2017.
Modiano, I think. Mickey Modiano.
Modiani, yes, Mickey Modiani, who was the then president, I think, of the community. Monis, thank you so much for coming into our meeting today. We've got time for some more questions, but if anybody thinks of anything, and indeed, Cliff has got his hand up, so Cliff, can I invite you to unmute?
Thank you very much for your attention. I hope it was interesting for this hour we spent together. I would like also to remind you that I'm the manager of the Jewish elderly home. We call it Restion. I'll write down our address in the chat if you would like to visit. And we also have a nice site in English as a community. This is our elderly home. Sorry, my English is not so good, but I'm sure you understand everything I said.
It's way better than our Greek. So, but just before you go, I think Cliff had a question. He's on.
Yes, please, please.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. I have no problem with your English at all, Monis. It's very good. And your talk has been wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I just wanted to come back to the question of youth, which we all face, and certainly in my part of Britain, it's when they go away to university, we more or less assume that they won't come back and live around here. And our national movement works very hard to try to keep Jewish students in touch with their local communities. In Thanet, we welcome students at local universities for Yamim Noraim and so on. Our own people are welcomed in other communities. The movement employs chaplains to visit universities, Onegei Shabbat, that kind of thing. Is there any kind of parallel effort going on in Greece to keep students in touch? Because that's the time of their life when they're most likely to meet somebody non-Jewish and turn away from our community and so on.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The thing is that we don't have an issue like this. We didn't deal with it yet, but you're very right that we should think about it. And our youth in UK, maybe you have the thing that the youth is moving from one university to the other, from one town to the other. The thing is that the Greek youth are moving away. They're going to US, you're going to Israel, they're going to London, and it's very hard to come back, because if it's a good mind, the university will try to keep them there, and they will give them some opportunities that they don't have in Greece. That's why they stay away. And it's something that we have to deal with, and we have to think about it, how to keep our youth and help them to find their life here in our community, because we would like to keep the community alive for many, many years.
Oh, I mean, I can't speak for anybody else. I know that our movements would be quite happy to hear details of anybody from Greece studying in Britain, and would try to make sure that some kind of Jewish connection is maintained. I would be surprised if other countries didn't do the same, but in Britain, certainly, I'm sure we would do that.
That's lovely. That's very, very, thank you very much, Cliff. Really, thank you. I mean, I have my daughter that she's in Vienna, and she studied in Vienna, and now she has in Austria, and she has her own family, her husband, one kid, etc. And I would like to tell you that the Vienna community never gets close to them, just to ask for the monthly fees they would like to have as a member of the community, but they didn't really do anything about them, not even one invitation for a Yamim Noraim or for Sukkot or something. But they did ask for money, and that was so sad. That was so sad. Thank you very much, Cliff. It's a great idea, and I really will look what's going on. How many of our youth is in UK, and it's very interesting to